guys, it's been a while, so I thought I would film a soft speaking and reading from a book ASMR video. I think it's been that long I forgot how to pronounce it. Changes before, after me, since I filmed it, you can see I now have black hair, so yeah, I look really different. Anyway, today I am going to be reading from a book called Haunted Birmingham, which has ghost stories and haunted locations in Birmingham in the UK. So I shall be reading a couple from here. So yeah. As you can see, each one has pictures in it. As you can see, which is good. So, this one is Baskerville House, Centenary Square. Baskerville House was until about 10 years ago the home of some of the council's many departments. When the council built it in 1939, it was intended to be one wing of a much larger civic centre, but following the Second World War, their plans were changed partly as a result of the need to rebuild large areas of the city centre, which had been devastated by bombing. The name of the building derives from the fact that it was built on the site of a former large house, which in the early 1700s was the home of a famous printer and entrepreneur. That person was John Baskerville, in the retelling of his activities during life and death, when he gained the reputation of Birmingham's most travelled corpse. Could fill a book in their own right, but for our purposes he has to be a passing acquaintance. On his passing away, his house eventually came into the hands of a local businessman, John Ryland, and he was the owner of, on July 14, 1791, a black day when Birmingham was hit by widespread rioting, later coined the Priestly Riots. A detailed account of the background to the riot can be found in Chris Upton's book, A History of Birmingham, but for the purpose of this book, we are basically concerned with the aftermath, the ransacking and destruction of houses belonging to some of the town's leading intellectuals and entrepreneurs, of which Rylands was one. On the evening of the 14th, a large mob attacked the building, but it was the alcoholic content of the cellar that became the main focus of three of the aggressive contingent. Unfortunately, while they were sampling the said delights, they were totally oblivious to the fact that the house above them had been set on fire. By the time they realised, if they ever did, it was too late, and they perished in the spreading flames. It is the ghost of these three men that one of our customers, an ex-council employee at Baskerville House, believed was responsible for haunting the building. He told us that sightings of suddenly appearing shadowy figures, particularly in the basement, were common when he went there, but can the unlucky three really be the cause? Birmingham Council House, Victoria Square. Picture of it. The appearance of a ghost is not always associated with violence or tragedy. It may be the spirit of someone who refuses to let death wrench them away from a loved one, or cherished location, as in the case in Victoria Square, which is dominated by the impressive-looking council house, built in 1879. It is a lasting monument to one of the modern city's most powerful and influential benefactors, Joseph Chamberlain. Chamberlain, who was 3 times Mayor of Birmingham and then later an MP, was born in London. He came to Birmingham at the age of 18 to work in his uncle's screw factory. The company was called Nettlefolds, which later became Guest, Keane and Nettlefold and then JKM. Brummagem Joe, as he was affectionately known, revolutionised the welfare of Birmingham citizens with his far-reaching civic programme for tackling the town's social and health problems. Throughout its history, Birmingham has held a reputation for being a world-beating manufacturing centre. That reputation was built on the handwork and ingenuity of the many Brummie-born craftsmen. They in turn acted as magnets to outsiders who converged on the town to ply their trade and hopefully earn their fortune. Unfortunately, the very success of the town was the cause of its worst problems. In the 1830s, the population of Birmingham stood at 150,000 and was growing faster than any other town in the country. At that time, many of those that came to settle in town were semi-skilled craftsmen or unskilled labourers who could only find intermittent work if they were lucky. And were forced to live in the poorer areas. Houses in these areas were small, cramped, and often surrounded by workshops. Effluent steeped through sandstone with polluting water supplies. The bulk of the population rented accommodation, but those who could not afford rent on a regular basis slept rough or in lodging houses. When they had a few pennies, life for most people was harsh, brutish and rife, with violence and poverty, both financial and emotional. This made normal family life very difficult. Joseph Chamberlain, whilst in office, was instrumental in some of the biggest development projects in Birmingham's history. Many of the slum areas were demolished to make way for better homes and businesses. Gas street lighting was installed in the town centre. Proper sewers and sanitary facilities were built, and one of the biggest feats, a reservoir, was built in the Allen Valley in Wales, with pipes laid to bring fresh Welsh water all the way to Birmingham. As the corner of the council house, where Victoria Square leads into Chamberlain Square, is the Lord Mayor's office, which contains Joe's old desk. The first floor office is separated from the rest of the Lord Mayor's parlour by a frosted glass door, and staff have said that sometimes, when the Lord Mayor is out, they have seen a ghostly figure moving around the room, but when they open the door, no one is there. In addition to this, there was a strong smell of fresh flowers. Chamberlain always insisted on being surrounded by fresh flowers, particularly orchards which he grew at his home, Highbury Hall in King's Heath. Is Joe still keeping a monocled eye on the affairs of Birmingham nearly 100 years after he was laid to rest in Hockley's Key Hill Cemetery? We like to think he is so. If you are passing below his office, look up. He may be standing at the window surveying the results of his hard work. So Birmingham apparently has political representation in the afterlife, but is this building, which serves as a seat of local government, also a major seat of paranormal activity in the city, according to the many current or ex-council workers that had added to the turnout on our guided walks? The answer is a sounding yes, although very few have elaborated on the form of that activity.